Tonight there's a new exhibit at the Johnson Center. Find out more.
Plus, learn about an Irish cooking contest. Stay tuned. TrojanVision Nightly News starts now.
From the High Definition Digital Production Center on the Troy campus, with news from Troy University locations around the world, this is TrojanVision Nightly News.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision Nightly News for March 20th, 2012. I'm Judson Garner.
And I'm Bailey Majors. Thank you for joining us this evening. The Johnson Center for the Arts is teaming up with Troy University to bring art from the East for Western viewers. As Danielle Wallace tells us, the display is part of a larger celebration taking place later this month.
The Johnson Center for the Arts welcomes China's first type of paper cutting design, known as Chinese paper cutting. The exhibit showcases paper cuttings of 12 animals that represent the 12-year rotating cycle of the Chinese zodiac, as well as 6 paper cut dragons.
Art of Chinese paper cutting is exactly what is in the title. It is an art. It is a talent where they use intricate designs and cutting techniques to create beautiful pieces.
The exhibit is also part of the opening of the Confucius Institute at Troy University.
This exhibit is sponsored by the Troy University College of Communication and Fine Art and the Confucius Institute at Troy University. They provided these wonderful pieces for us to house this exhibit.
In addition to the Chinese paper cutting exhibit, the center also has another new exhibit on display, which is a collection of art from 4 painters.
4 artists from Montgomery, both really talented and have extreme mediums.
During the last week of March, the center will celebrate China Week, which will conclude with a reception and demonstration of paper cutting by Troy University international students on March 29th from 3:30 until 5 p.m. Danielle Wallace, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The paper cutting exhibit is currently on display at the Johnson Center, and the 4 painters exhibit opens this weekend. The Johnson Center is located on Walnut Street, right off the square in downtown Troy.
Troy University will get a little taste of the Irish tomorrow morning as local chefs try their hand at some Irish cuisine. Troy's Office of Development will hold their 10th annual Irish cooking contest tomorrow morning. Area cooks will submit a variety of dishes to see who can come up with the best Irish-themed meal, whether they are authentic Irish cuisine or just have a healthy dose of green food coloring. The public will get a chance to try out the dishes themselves after judging is completed. If you want to check it out, the contest will be tomorrow at 11 on the first floor of the Trojan Center.
Another part of Troy's St. Patrick's themed celebration is the annual St. Patrick's Day Parade next week. Groups and organizations from all over participate in the parade, but one lucky lady gets to shine in front of the line. We'll find out who that is tomorrow night. The annual Miss Venus pageant is tomorrow night at 8 in the Claudia Crosby Theater. The Miss Venus pageant differs from typical pageants like Miss Troy because there is only one task for the contestants to perform, and that is to walk across the stage. Even though the Miss Venus pageant is scaled down, the winner gets to be a big part of the upcoming St. Patrick's festivities.
It's a fun little walk-through pageant that we do every year, and we pick Miss Venus. She gets a $150 book scholarship, a crown, and a banner, and she gets to be one of the grand marshals in our Spring Preview Day Parade, our Trojan Day Parade.
Once again, the Miss Venus pageant is tomorrow night at 8 in the Claudia Crosby Theater. The annual St. Patrick's Day Parade will be Saturday, March 31st as part of the Trojan Day activities. Well, Justin, a pair of professional musicians are on campus for a performance later this week.
But before the big show, they are spreading their musical knowledge with some Troy University students. Derica James has a story.
Tuesday afternoon, Troy University invited the Hank Aaron and Michael Jordan of percussion instruments, according to Assistant Professor Adam Blackstock. These 2 men are part of the world-renowned percussion group, Nexus.
Nexus is a professional percussion ensemble that was formed basically out of New York and Toronto in the early 1970s. They're celebrating their 41st year together, originally composed of 5 members, and they still perform together to this day. They kind of were the innovators of the contemporary percussion ensemble. Bob Becker and Russell Hartenberger are the 2 members that we've brought to Troy campus.
Bob Becker and Russ Hartenberg came to share their musical knowledge by giving clinics about the xylophone and its history and minimalism in the music of Steve Ranch. The men will also give a concert Thursday night, but they will be getting a little help from Trojans.
The program will consist of 5 works, which are more contemporary percussion ensemble literature, and then 3 xylophone rags. George Hamilton Green will close the concert with Bob Becker as xylophone soloist. The percussion ensemble, Troy University Percussion Ensemble, will perform with them on all pieces with the exception of one in which myself and 2 other university professors will perform with Becker and Hartenberger.
Beck says that he hopes that when people hear him play, they acquire an array of feelings.
I hope anybody who comes to a show that I play on feels a sense of discovery, a sense of adventure, and a sense of beautiful sound.
Derica James, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Beckner and Hardenberger's concert is this Thursday at 7 in the Claudia Crosby Theater. Tickets are $30 for general admission and $5 for students.
And now taking a look at news from around the state. In Montgomery, the state of Alabama has taken the first step towards paying nearly $119,000 to a church pianist who spent 9 months in jail facing a capital murder charge that resulted from a botched autopsy on her newborn son. The Senate General's Fund Committee unanimously approved the funding today for Bridget Lee, a 37-year-old mother of 2 from Carrollton, who was arrested after she had a child prematurely at home in November 2006.
And in Tuscaloosa, a Forest Lake woman was added as the 53rd person in the Tuscaloosa area to die as a result of the April 27th tornado. The Tuscaloosa News reports that 87-year-old Hope Hamilton died October 6th after battling a series of illnesses brought about by the tornado.
And also in Montgomery, an Alabama State Senate committee has voted for legislation that would protect the prison systems from new state budget cuts and make sure prisoners don't have to be released early. The Senate Finance and Taxation General Fund Committee voted unanimously today to approve an extra $45.3 million to the Department of Corrections.
Still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News, the Trojan baseball team is gearing up to face off Alabama tonight at home. Dustin Carroll will be in next with sports details.
But first, a U.S. soldier who is accused of killing women and children in Afghanistan will meet today with his lawyers. We'll have more on that after the break.
The U.S. sergeant suspected in the Afghan killings waits to be charged, as the White House says the incident will not change U.S. policy. I'm Randall Kingston at the White House. Details coming up.
Separate raw meats from other foods by using different cutting boards. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Over the course of time, Troy has consistently turned out quality graduates.
We're trying to develop future leaders.
If it had not been for Troy University, I would have never had the honor of being the Alabama Teacher of the Year.
We want to educate the mind to think, the heart to feel, the body to act. And we do that within the framework of one real university.
Troy University, in class, online, within reach. Troy.edu.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
And now for a look at what's happening across the nation and around the world, we'll go to Judson Garner at the Global News Desk. Judson.
Thanks, Bailey. Voters are heading to the polls in Illinois today to choose a Republican presidential nominee, and it's down to a two-man race in the state between Mitt Romney and Rick Santorum. Danielle Nottingham reports.
Illinois Republicans are picking the GOP candidate they want to challenge President Obama.
I hope Romney takes Illinois, I really do. I think right now he's probably the best qualified.
I like Santorum. He seemed like a more traditional and conservative candidate.
Mitt Romney and Rick Santorum spent the past few days pounding the pavement in Illinois. Romney continues to make the case that he's the best candidate to win back the White House.
Together, we're going to get this job done. I'm going to get the nomination. We're going to defeat Barack Obama.
Santorum had to do some damage control after saying he didn't, quote, care about the unemployment rate.
Occasionally you say some things you wish you had a do-over.
Mitt Romney is expected to do well in suburban Chicago districts like this one, while Rick Santorum is counting on a big turnout from conservatives in the southern part of the state.
You don't get a chance very often to speak loudly as conservatives in Illinois.
Even with a strong turnout, Santorum faces an uphill battle for Illinois delegates. His campaign did not file the appropriate paperwork in a handful of districts. And some counties have run into their own problem at the polls. Newly redesigned ballots are too big to fit in the computers that read them. All of them will have to be hand-counted after the polls close. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Schaumburg, Illinois.
The U.S. soldier accused of killing women and children in Afghanistan spent a second day meeting with his attorneys. The White House says the incident has not changed the U.S. policy. Randall Pinkston reports from the White House.
Staff Sergeant Robert Bales told his attorney he has no memory of the time when 16 Afghan civilians, including 9 children, were murdered. John Henry Brown says his client is in shock.
He's being watched very carefully. I'm concerned about his being a danger to himself.
Brown says Bales, who was in custody at Fort Leavenworth, is worried about retaliation against his fellow soldiers in Afghanistan. The killings have sparked protests calling for U.S. forces to leave. But the top U.S. commander in Afghanistan told a congressional committee the mission remains the same.
I wish I could tell you that this war was simple and that progress could easily be measured. But that's not the way of counterinsurgencies.
The current plan calls for U.S. troops to withdraw from Afghanistan by December 2014. Again today, the White House says there are no plans to change that.
We are in the process of transitioning security lead over to the Afghan security forces.
Those who know Bales continue to express disbelief over what happened, including former NFL fullback Mark Edwards. Edwards and Bales met in high school and remained close friends. In a statement, Edwards said, "I viewed him as a person with enormous integrity, courage, and loyalty." Bales is expected to be charged by the end of the week. Randall Pinkston, CBS News, the White House.
Queen Elizabeth made a rare address to members of Parliament to commemorate her 60th year on the throne. The event is part of the ongoing celebrations for the Queen's Diamond Jubilee. Tina Krause reports from London.
Queen Elizabeth made a grand entrance to Westminster Hall to deliver a landmark speech. Lawmakers from both sides of the aisle came together to mark the Queen's 60 years on the throne.
With the support of my family, rededicate myself to the service of our great country and its people, now and in the years to come.
The Queen recalled a long relationship with Parliament. The 85-year-old has worked with 12 prime ministers and signed more than 3,500 bills into law. In a non-political gesture, members of Parliament unveiled a special gift to recognize the Queen's milestone. They gave her a grand window made of more than 1,500 pieces of stained glass. She called it magnificent.
Should this beautiful window cause just a little extra color to shine down upon this ancient place, I should gladly settle for that.
The Queen spent the rest of the day here at Buckingham Palace enjoying a bit of downtime in what will be a very busy year full of Jubilee events. Royal family members are helping the Queen celebrate. Her son, Prince Charles, and his wife, Camilla, are in Norway, starting a Scandinavian tour for the Queen's anniversary. Prince Harry just returned from the Caribbean, where he wasn't at all shy, partying hard in honor of his grandmother's 60 years as Queen. Tina Krause, CBS News, London.
And that'll wrap things up from the Global News Desk. To see more stories from across the country and around the world, you can tune in to Trojan Vision Global News right after the nightly news. Now back to you, Bailey.
Thanks, Judson. And now Dustin Carroll joins us with sports. So the Trojan baseball team is back in action tonight, and they're actually playing at home.
That's right, Bailey. The baseball team's back at home tonight against Alabama, and I'll get into that right now.
After losing 2 out of 3 games and giving up a combined 29 runs this past weekend in their series with South Alabama, the Troy baseball team doesn't have much time to rest as they return to the diamond tonight against Alabama. The Trojans will throw junior Ryan Brady tonight against the Crimson Tide, who are currently 8-12 on the year. And as Coach Bobby Pierce says, there's no doubt this is a big game for his team.
Exciting night here at Riddle Pace. Looking forward to having Alabama in. And we're going to try to get our team kind of dust off the series from the weekend and get right involved with this big game that we have coming up. I think we'll be ready. I'm looking forward to that game and our crowd. And
first pitch tonight from Riddle Pace Field is set for 6 p.m. Alabama leads the all-time series 16-7. This is just Alabama's 3rd appearance at Riddle Pace Field since 1999. And just like the baseball team, the Troy softball team will also be taking on an in-state rival. Wednesday night, the Trojans will take on the 18th-ranked Auburn Tigers. The softball team was off to their best start in school history, but now have lost 5 out of their last 7 games, including 2 out of 3 games last week in their Sun Belt opening series against Louisiana Monroe. The last time the Trojans and Tigers played was in 2010 in the Hibbett Easton All-Alabama Softball Classic in Birmingham, with the Tigers winning 2-1. The Trojans are now 18-7 heading into Wednesday night's game. First pitch is set for 6 p.m. at the Troy Softball Complex. A member of the Trojan track and field team has made his mark at the national level already this early in the season. After a first-place performance at the Louisiana Classic last weekend, Martin Fieldaves is 2nd in the nation in the javelin throw. Fieldaves placed 1st in the men's javelin with a distance of 73.73 meters to move him into 2nd place in the 2012 NCAA Division I outdoor qualifier list. The throw also beat the school record that Fieldaves previously held last year. The Trojans will be in action again this weekend at the Georgia Relays. The Troy men's golf team took part this past weekend in the Furman Intercollegiate Golf Tournament hosted by Furman University. The Trojans ended the first day at the top of the leaderboards before finishing the tournament with a combined score of 3 over par 75, which tied them for 5th place with the University of Georgia and Charleston Southern. Troy was led by Tolliver Dozer, who finished the tournament with a combined score of 214, which was good for 15th place. The Trojan men's team finished the tournament with a combined 3-day score of 867. Number 13 Clemson set a tournament record with a combined score of 838. The Trojans will be back in action April 2nd when they travel to Jonesboro, Arkansas to compete in the Arkansas Red Wolf Intercollegiate hosted by Arkansas State.
Well, Justin, Bailey, big game tonight. It's always a good turnout when Alabama comes to town, so hopefully we'll have a good crowd tonight and they can help pull the Trojans through because they really need some wins. They haven't been playing real well lately, and hopefully they can pull it out tonight.
Absolutely. Look forward to the game and best of luck to them.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. Thanks, Justin.
Thank you.
Still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News, Aaron Taylor learns a little bit about the Pioneer Museum in Troy.
But first, today is the first day of spring and things seem to be warming up. Are these sunny temperatures here to stay, Bree?
Today was a beautiful day, and yes, those warm temperatures are here to stay, but it looks like the conditions may change as we head on through the rest of the week. I'll have more coming up in weather.
I'm lucky. Let me help you with that. I get to do something I love. It has nothing to do with touchdowns or titles. Everybody bring it in. I get to play a part in the life of someone just starting out. How many of you think homework is just as important as teamwork? I help keep kids in school. Good. And that's the name of the game. My name is LaDainian Thomason. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer. Live United.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
Now, Bree Sanders joins us for a look at weather.
So, Bree, the last couple days have been really nice outside. How long is this picture-perfect weather going to stick around?
Well, it looks like we'll have these warm temperatures throughout the rest of the week, but the conditions may not be so picture perfect. I'll get more into that in just a moment, though. Let's take a look at our campus snapshot. Right now on campus, we see that it's a beautiful day outside. The sun is just setting over Bibb Grave, so whether you're headed to class or headed home from work, you may want to stay outside and just enjoy the day for now. Looking at our current conditions, we have partly cloudy skies, temperatures at 83 degrees, dew points at 53 degrees, humidity at 33%, barometers at 30.01 inches and falling. Winds are coming in from the south-southeast from 10 to 20 miles per hour. Today's stats, we had a high today of 86, a low of 59. There was no rain today. The sun rises at 6:46 a.m. and it should set at 6:56 p.m. Looking at our temperatures around the state, overall the state is experiencing some lower to middle 80-degree temperatures right now. Mobile coming in with the low at 79, Huntsville at 83, Birmingham at 85, Montgomery at 86, Troy at 85, Phoenix City at 82, and Dothan at 81. Looking at our temperatures around the southeast here in our area, we are in the mid-80s, and as we move throughout the rest of the southeast, those temperatures decrease just a little bit into the lower 80s there in the Carolinas, Florida in the lower 80s down here in Miami, as well as certain parts of Texas, a little bit cooler than what we're experiencing right now. Looking at our temperatures as a whole, overall the United States, we have a few 40-degree temperatures here in the west, but as we head back towards our area, we see that on the east coast here, we have those 70-degree temperatures, and as we head back down through our area, it gets a little bit warmer into the 80s, the warmest here in our state. Looking at our departure from normal here in our area, we're about 20 degrees warmer than where we were this time last year, so we do have those spring temperatures coming in hopefully for good. Current surface map here, we have a few cold fronts coming in through the west right here, possibly headed towards our area with a few precipitation systems, and as we take a closer look into our area, it seems as if right now we don't have too much going on, a few light winds, but we do have that possibility of rain heading to our area for the next couple of days, so that's something to look out for. Precipitation forecast over the next 48 hours, it seems that here in our area we do have that rain here in Mississippi. Looks like it's headed through the west side of our state over the next couple of days, possibly about a 30 to 50% chance of rain, so you might have to bring that rain gear back out. But as we head into tomorrow, we should remain clear. It should be a very beautiful day tomorrow, much like today, and as we head into Thursday, it looks like that rain comes into our area, gives us about a 30% chance of rain, and as we head into Friday, it looks like the rain stays in our area, gets a little bit heavier here, about another inch or so, but Saturday comes around and it looks like we should have a clear weekend ahead. As we look at tonight's forecast, we have partly cloudy skies, 10% chance of rain, strong winds coming in from the southeast at about 20 miles per hour with a low of 60 degrees. So tonight we will have those mild temperatures, not so warm, not so cold. It'll be just right. For tomorrow, though, we have partly cloudy skies, a very high UV index, strong winds coming in from the southeast from 10 to 20 miles per hour with a high of 84 degrees. So tomorrow will be much like today, a very beautiful day outside, picture perfect, if you will. Class outlook for tomorrow at about 7 a.m. It'll be about 62 degrees. No need for a jacket. As we get to 10 a.m. it'll be about 71. You can dress light tomorrow. Around 1 p.m. it'll be about 80 degrees outside. You can go outside and enjoy your day. And around 3 it'll get to about 82, so you can take a jog if you like. Looking at our 4-day forecast for tomorrow, we have that high of 84 degrees with a low of 62. Thursday, we have that high of 81 with a low of 63, but we have that 30% chance of rain there. Hopefully nothing too much to worry about. Friday, we have that high of 80 with a 70% chance of rain there, possibly some thunderstorms in the area, so you may want to watch out for that, but those low temperatures still stay in the 60s for the night, those mild temperatures on Friday. But as we head back into Saturday, moving into our weekend, that high gets to 80 degrees with another 30% chance of rain. So, Judson, it looks like today being the first day of spring, we do have those picture-perfect conditions, and possibly tomorrow as well, but it looks like towards the end of the week that rain may be heading to our area. So, like I said, the temperatures will still be in the 80s, but the conditions may be a little wet outside. Yeah, we've had a couple days of good weather, and, you know, I figured the rain was going to head into the area soon, because with really warm temperatures comes rain, but at least, you know, things might get a little bit brighter Saturday. Hopefully. Thanks a lot. You're welcome.